Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for coming back to see me. I am excited to review this episode of Married at First Sight. Lord, y'all know it's some drama. But before I get started, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Turn on that bell notification so you know when I post. And yeah, let's get into this video. Also, as you can see here, I'm wearing one of these headbands. I actually make these, so if you want to shop any of my items that you see, including this necklace, head wraps, everything, please head over to my website. The description for the website is in the box below. So without further ado, let's get into this video. I didn't review last week's episode because of the fact that I just did not have time, and I knew that going into this week we was going to get all the scoop on what really went down after all the drama with Tay-Tae and Brandon and with Mika and Michael, and of course Zach and Mindy. Like, these three couples, like, why? And y'all, so I actually got on my computer and I took notes, okay? So, alright, so who do I want to start with first? Let's see. Michael and Mika. Now, since day one, like, they have been having issues with communication, and more importantly, Michael's communication, and not just his communication, but his lying. Like, this man has come up with so many different stories for what he does for a living, what his extracurriculars are. Like, I don't get it. It's like, why do you have to make up so many different stories? And I understand that going into the process where you don't know a person and you have to be open and honest and vulnerable with them, like, to a complete stranger, like, that's really intimidating. But at the same time, this isn't an experiment where you're randomly thrown into it. You signed yourself up to go be a part of something like this. So you need to understand you have to let down your walls in order to make this a successful thing for you. And Michael was just, I don't know, like, I feel as though him and all his facial expression that he be doing, like, every time somebody's talking, he gotta be making facial expressions, moving, doing stuff. Like, he is very clearly uncomfortable. Like, his body language is showing that he is not comfortable, and he does this thing where he tries to deflect, pushing it all on to Mika or to somebody else instead of taking ownership and saying, like, oh, well, I'm just not comfortable yet. It's like, okay, when you're not comfortable or when you have trust issues, you don't really talk at all. Like, you don't even come up with stories, because the fact that you're like, I don't even feel comfortable enough even opening up a lie to you because I don't know or trust you. So I'm just not going to say anything. Michael, on the other hand, he comes up with these stories, making himself seem, and I know maybe he's trying to make him, give himself a better look in Mika's eyes. I don't know. But some of these stories that you're coming up with, it's like, not only are you on TV, but you're coming up with lies that can easily be checked. Like, you could easily have all of these facts that you're spitting out be checked by somebody. Like, it's not, like, you're not even coming up with good stories. So when there was a moment when Mika, had wanted to go to a yoga session with Michael for a class that he supposedly teaches. And when she showed up there, apparently it was all a lie. Michael does not work as a yoga instructor, but as the person that comes behind and cleans up the room after the classes, which, okay, I don't know why he couldn't have just been honest in the beginning and just said, I work, you know, part-time at a yoga studio. Like, I'm the one that, you know, once yoga sessions are done, like, I go behind, like, make sure everything's cleaned up for the next session. You know, I can sit on classes for either a discounted rate or whatever, something. Because no one, like, she's not going to feel any sort of way about that, because you're doing this as a hobby because you like to do it. Like, it's not like this is your source of income. So him coming up with a lie about being a yoga instructor and actually pointing out what studio he works at and having Mika come there, it's like, boy, why would you do that knowing that she was going to pop up at any time? So he was mad about her leaving and saying, like, this was a waste of my time. Why would you have me come all the way out here knowing that you was lying? Anybody in their right mind would be like, yeah, dude, why? Like, we didn't have to even waste time doing all this if you would have just been honest from the beginning and said, hey, I work at this studio and they're offering me a discounted rate for a class, you know, blah, blah, blah. Let's go to it. Easy. No one cares. Honestly, you make it an issue when you lie about it, because then it makes people feel as though, like, what else are you not being honest with me about? Like, now I feel as though you are straight up and down leaving important things out if you're lying about little shit. Well, after that, I guess they went to a little restaurant and Mika wanted to talk about what happened. And Michael, whole time, he's stuffing his face with food. You know, you could tell that he is one of those jittery, sort of like when people's calling him out, he just can't look at them in their face, and he just can't be in the moment because he's so uncomfortable. So he's like fiddling. Either he's drinking his juice like how he was with Dr. Pepper, or he's stuffing his food, or he's like doing facial expressions, just all that sort of stuff. And it's like, bruh. And so Mika was like, I just want to figure out why you are lying so much. She told him that she went and talked to some of the other people about what was going on. And so he flipped the seat. That's the problem. This is why I have issues with you, because you want to go be talking to other people about our business. It's just be our business. She's like, one, you don't even express yourself or talk to me about what is going on. So yeah, I need to go out and ask others what their advice is to make sure I'm not tripping. And he says that Mika doesn't express herself well. And I'm like, that is all this girl has been doing this entire few weeks that we've been watching this show, is expressing the fact that, yeah, I want this to work. I'm willing to do whatever it is. But why are you going to get mad at me because I'm trying to figure out why you lying? Like, anybody in their right mind would want to know that. Like, she's not asking or pointing out anything that a normal person wouldn't want to know. Like, and so to me, I'm like, he's being like a little punk ass. Like, honestly, like he for real is, to me, he's not genuine, and I don't know what his issues are, what else he's dealing with in his life, but he should not have come to this show if he wasn't willing to be upfront and honest about everything. Because once the cameras go away and they're on their own, it's like, who am I really here with? Like, the whole 8 weeks is to get to know this person. Now I feel as though I'm back at square zero with a complete stranger because he done switched up. I'm over him. I really don't see Mika trying to go forward with him after this show is over with, because by right, like, she has trust, like, I would have trust issues with him if I was in her situation, and I would be kind of scared to see what it would happen if we weren't in the camera's face all the time. So I don't know what's gonna happen with them, but you know, Michael, he needs to figure out what is going on with him internally so that he can really start opening up to Mika and being honest and upfront about what he does and things like that. Start taking accountability, which I don't think that he does. So next. Okay, guys, sorry about that. I had to switch up scenery and, you know, go grab myself some lunch real quick. But anyways, let's get back to it. Where are we at? Oh, yes. Let me just go ahead and do Brandon and Taylor, because that's why we're here to talk about them. After the whole fiasco of Taylor posting that video, saying what she wants, like, why is it so hard to find men out here that meet X, Y, and Z requirements? You know, by right and quite naturally, Brandon was like, okay, clearly you claim that you're single now. I am obviously not meeting your minimum requirements that you put in that video. So why am I still here? What is the point of us trying to do anything? I mean, what's up? So he left. He left his keys. He took his little backpack, and he was gone. Taylor pretty much feels as though that she has nothing that she needs to apologize for with that video because it supposedly wasn't for Brandon. You know, like, she just felt as though like it was a joke, and she was just in the heat of the moment talking because of the fact that she felt as though she wasn't being appreciated as a wife, whatever. And so she, this whole time, like, even when she was talking to her friends, and obviously, you know, you're gonna go and talk to those two friends that you know is always gonna have your back and never gonna feel as though that you're wrong. And that's what she did. She went and sat down with two people who were like, yeah, I can't believe he's so sensitive. Like, it was a joke. He been had a bad attitude. So why is he upset about this video? Boom, boom, boom. No, it's like, that's not the point of him having a bad attitude. It was the fact of the matter that you claimed that you're trying to move forward and move on, but you're still upset at Brandon about what he did in Panama. And this man, he did say that he's gonna try to work to fix whatever. I mean, we really didn't get a chance to see that because the whole video thing came out before we could even make a judgment about if Brandon is gonna be able to change his behavior. I get that Taylor is still mad about him flipping out on production and like saying F you and all this other stuff, but it's like that should not be like a reason for you to go and make a video like that, and especially on a social media platform where you know everybody's gonna see it, and you didn't even remove it. Like, you kept the joint up there for the full 24 hours for people to see. And it's just like, you trying to stir up your own drama to have, like, you know, people really talk about you, because it's working. I mean, people gonna talk about you whether it's good, bad, or in between. But at the same time, I feel as though like she really wasn't there for the right reasons. You know what I'm saying? Like, she claims when she was talking to her friends, like, she dropped everything to do this show. And from what Brandon was saying, she had other opportunities, like other shows that she had auditioned for, and apparently they didn't get back to her in time enough before Married at First Sight was like, yeah, we want you to, you know, come and be on the show. And so Brandon said he's over it, and I think naturally anybody would be. She says that he was just looking for some sort of out, and it's like, if you thought that, why would you give it to him? Like, unless you wanted that too. I genuinely think that Brandon wanted to find a relationship. I really don't know if this was the right avenue for him to find that, getting on a national TV show with him being so reserved and kind of closed off. You know, I don't think that they're going to bounce back from that. I do think probably they're going to continue to do the show just to go ahead and like knock this out. I don't know if they get a check for how many episodes they're in, or I don't know how that works, but hopefully they will at least get to talk one-on-one about it. They tried it with Dr. Pepper, and Brandon was like, I'm out of here, girl, bad. Like, I don't want you no more. Like, I'm done. He was kind of laughing, like, she ain't even, and Taylor said, she's like, I don't know as though I did anything wrong to apologize for, so I'm not ready to apologize yet. And so it's like, okay, if you don't really apologize, you don't see how you hurt somebody's feelings. Brandon did apologize about his attitude and behavior when he was in Panama. He did it a bunch of times in front of her family, to her personally, and she can't even say I apologize for posting something that hurt your feelings. Okay, I knew it wasn't meant for you, but I see that how it hurt you, and I apologize. She couldn't even say that. So it's just like, Tay-Tay, you being a little whatever, little stank ass. So it's like, no, go ahead, Brandon, go and do your thing, be off the show, go ahead and just be done with it. So that's that on them. We're gonna see how that goes. So let's go ahead and knock out Austin and Jessica real quick. They're doing great. I mean, everybody can see that they're doing great. We really have no issues to report with them. They even said like how they, you know, they feel very fortunate and lucky to be having a positive experience with this show with this relationship, and they do kind of feel bad that some other couples aren't, but it's like, you know, it's not your fault and there's nothing you can do to change it. Just continue to see what is going on in other people's lives and recognize how it can, you know, turn out, and just try to make sure that don't happen in y'all relationships. Katie and Derek, like, I already, like, from the beginning, like, even when I saw, like, after the wedding, and I just kind of was just watching how Katie was, like, I could tell that she wants more of like a machismo kind of like a dude that's kind of like a little rough around the edges, you know. I can see that that's the type of guy that she likes, and Derek may not be hitting all those marks for her, and she keeps putting out there like, look, just because I let you hit on like the third time, like the third date or whatever, doesn't mean that you got the bag secured, because I can still say no at the end of this thing, blah blah blah. Like, she giving him all kind of attitude like that, and he's just like, yeah, I definitely stopped trying to put in any work for anything, because it's just like, why? I got the girl, we in this, like, why do I need to put in some work for? Like, he just didn't understand that. But you can genuinely see that he is trying to step it up and do whatever he needs to make Katie see that, yo, I am the one, I can do whatever. And she just feels as though like he isn't trying to court her anymore. Like, she's just, you know, he's not even trying to put in extra effort or like, you know, doing little things to basically kind of win her over, like how you would do when you first meet somebody, you trying to impress them, you know, all that sort of stuff. She's like, you don't do that, like blah 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 blah. And he pretty much, like, they did the little challenge where they had to talk about stuff, and like, and she wanted to know, she's like, what do you do, like, how do you go pick up a girl, like, what pickup lines do you use? Like, he's like, I don't use pickup lines. And she's like, oh my god. And it's just like, maybe he don't need to, maybe he just has to sit back and people come to him. He could be that type of dude where he really don't have to say or do much to get a girl. And I think Katie doesn't like that, because it's like, well, you're gonna have to work to get me, like, I don't understand. And she, I guess, is just used to people jumping onto her and, like, you know, wooing her. And this guy's just like, look, I can have anybody I want to, like, I don't have to work that hard. And so hopefully they can work through all that. But for some reason, I just don't think that Katie is gonna want to stay married to him. For some reason, I think he's going to say yes and she's going to say no. I don't know why I think that, but for some reason, that's what I think is going to happen. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Next, two who should just be done with this damn show, Zach and Mindy. Like, why don't they just go ahead and take off and cut these 2-hour episodes, one, and go ahead and get the people off the show who really don't need to be on it. Zach and Mindy are one of those couples. Like, they need to be done with this experiment. Zach is not doing it the right way. You cannot sign up for a show, agree to do it, and then don't follow the rules. In anything else, in any other scenario in life, if you don't follow the rules, you're out. Like, you don't get too many second and third chances, and this dude has not done anything by the book, okay? And they're allowing him to continue to do this and dragging, like, stringing Mindy along. Like, this dude is never going to warm up to you. He's never going to like you. This is not going to work out for you. We are sorry. Let's get you a nice little, like, vacation somewhere. Like, go do some me time sort of thing and be done with it, because we have wasted your time. And what really pissed me off when I was watching this was when they did the flashback when Dr. Pepper was interviewing the couples individually before they actually got together. And she's gonna say, so what happens if you get matched with someone that may not necessarily be your type, you know, may not necessarily look the way you want them to? And of course he's gonna give that storybook answer, like, I'm going to be open to anything. Like, I know that if I'm not attracted to the person, there's other qualities that I know I've been matched with them for, so I'm gonna trust the process, yada yada blah blah blah. That was a whole ass lie, okay? And Dr. Pepper knew who he was getting set up with, and knew just based off of history that he was not gonna like that girl. Like, they knew this. It was like, why would you set her up like that? And on top of that, they know Mindy has issues that she is coming into this with. She is going through a lot personally. You're going to drop her into an experiment like this? Nah, y'all shouldn't have did that. It was a bad decision. And so the fact that Dr. Pepper, she's going to tell him in so many words that you need to move into the apartment so that you can like do this experiment the right way, it should be enough to go ahead and cancel him. You should not have to be begging somebody to follow the rules that you have brought them here to do, that they signed up for, that you picked them to do, that you're paying them to do. Okay, like, no, you don't follow the rules, you're out. That's it. She then gives them this challenge to go do, and it's this yoga that's supposed to align all the chakras together, which I was like, okay, that's cool, but why are they putting these two on here to do this? Because this is about to be mad uncomfortable. And sure enough, it was. Like, I was like this the whole time. Like, this is just not their thing. Like Mindy was saying, that was literally the most physical contact that these two have had since maybe a couple of pecks on the lips from the wedding day. Like, they didn't hold any hands. They never obviously sat that close to each other, and it looked uncomfortable. I mean, just the way he was looking at her, it was like, this is so uncomfortable. It's like, why? It's like, why? Why are they keep trying to force this? It's not going to work. This man does not like her, and he's not going to get any closer to liking her in the little bit of time that they have left. It's not going to work. And so Mindy, I think, is at the point now where she obviously knows this, and I don't know why she is even still trying to hold out hope for Zach. I don't know if she's trying to prove to herself and maybe to some members of her family that what she signed up for is working, will work. You know, like, I don't know what she's trying to do with this, because she just is digging herself further and further into a hole. Her and Brandon better get together and be like, look, we out of here, because that's what they need to do. So in a preview for next week's episode, one, especially with Zach and Mindy, I guess he is about to confront her about something. Like, he was like, oh, Mindy, you've been holding out, like, you've been lying about this, about something. And she like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, what could I possibly be lying about or holding out from? What? Please tell me. I need to know. And come to find out, just from the little preview, maybe he's been talking to one of her people in her bridal party. I don't know if it was her friend, whoever it was. This man been talking to her since the wedding, I'm sure. And what can you say about that? Like, that's the reason why he ain't in the house. I mean, this is the reason why he's acting the way he's acting. Like, he didn't set up here, came on a TV show to just go talk to somebody's friend. And he needs to be gone. I don't know what other reason they have for keeping him on this show besides ratings, but y'all need to go ahead and wrap this up. Cut these episodes down to like an hour if you must, and be done with two of these couples. And like, let's go ahead and move forward and see how the process works the right way. So, I don't know. Like, Zach and Mindy really irritate me, especially Zach. Like, he literally makes me want to fight him. But you can't be mad at somebody because he is doing exactly what they're allowing him to do, which is waste time. So that's all I can say about him. He out here wasting money, and more importantly, people's time. So he needs to be gone. And Brandon and Teri-Yae, Brandon said he been done with the TV stuff, so he ready to be gone. So go ahead and let these folks do their business, okay? Stop wasting everybody's time, for real. So that's my opinion on this week's episode of Married at First Sight, Season 10 in Washington, D.C. Please stay tuned for more reviews and videos coming from me. And y'all, let's just see how this works out. I don't know. I'm gonna pull a Michael. I don't know. So we gonna see. But until then, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, week, whatever. And I'll see you next time. Bye.